Hey guys, it's Brett. If you haven't noticed, I am facing my closet this time. I'm back in my own room. The reason I changed yet again for my view is because my room is an absolute mess. And even though this place looks kind of like messy, it's probably like the least messy part of my room. You're not gonna see it because it's gross. Today I just want to do a PSA for all of you that go out there because your servers are people too. We do not make what most people would consider the minimum wage. Here are some of the people that come into my work. These have all been people that have come in, they've happened to either me or to other people that I know at my work or other friends of mine that have been servers at some point in their lives. These are all true stories. So the very first person that comes in that I'm not a huge fan of is the person that orders something and then they make so many changes. It is literally not the item that is on the menu. The only thing that's the same is that it has chicken. The rest totally different, all up to them. That's more of a personal preference, I guess, but I do know that a lot of your servers are not thrilled when you make 10 changes to your item. The next person that is so awful is the one that I hate so much, because actually I used to be this person before I was a server, because I just didn't know, is I would go to a restaurant and sit there and have drinks for 3 hours. Some of you are probably like, Brett, you're an alcoholic, and I'm like, yeah, I am, meh, whatever. But I do know that there's a lot of people, they're like, oh, we're just gonna sit and chat. That's totally fine. You do you thing, you catch up with whoever you want. If it's your, grandmother you haven't seen in, 5 years, by all means, sit there for 3 hours, 4 hours, till we close. I don't care. But the real thing that I have an issue with is when you, sit there at my table for hours on end, and then when you leave, your check isn't, super big because you've been kind of, sipping on your drink. But the fact of the matter is, you only leave, a 10 or even, just a normal 15% tip. Because that's standard, yo. When you leave, even a 15% tip, it's kind of well, you've been here for 3 hours, taking up my table that I could have been, using for other people. You should leave, a larger tip. There are certain people that go in and they go to a restaurant knowing they are not going to tip. They just think, oh, they make money elsewhere, whatever, they've got other tables, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's true, I do have other tables, but if you're not going to leave me a tip, see back to the beginning of the video, I only make $4 an hour, $4.50 an hour at most. You're kind of screwing me, and it's not fun. So if you're not going to tip me, you might as well tell me at the beginning, because it'll make my life easier, because I can just give you very minimal effort since you are giving me literally nothing. I am just kind of there to serve you food, but it's I'm doing my job, so I should be compensated, I guess. But yeah, if you're not going to tip me, just let your server know at the beginning so they can be sure to kind of not really care about you that much. Because trust me, if you come back, they're going to know, and they're going to tell whoever's serving you. The next person that I'm not a huge fan of is when you bring out their food and something's wrong with it, whether it had onions on it and they didn't want it, their steak was not cooked well enough, or it was overcooked. Something was wrong with the food and they want it remade or whatever. That's fine, I can take care of that. If you tell me right away, no big deal. I can do that. I can get you a new one in a few minutes if it's a steak. Sometimes that's a little iffy depending on how much you wanted it cooked. But yeah, that's fine. But then what bugs me is that I get a really crappy tip, or no tip at all, because that one food was made wrong and you had to wait a couple more minutes to get the food out. I understand, you're with people, whatever, like, now you're kind of the last person to eat, if you're a few minutes behind, it's not, like, the best. But you have to understand that I'm your server, I'm not your cook. And I understand that your food's wrong, so, like, obviously, you have, like, a right to be upset. And I think a lot of people, especially those who haven't served, like, think since that's the only, like, control they have over their server, like, that's how they, like, retaliate and say, you know, my food was wrong, so you get, like, no tip, or, like, a very, like, small tip. You have to understand also that there are, like, 50 other people, at least, in this, like, building, all wanting food at the same time. You just need to talk to your server. If your server is, like, halfway decent, they will, like, keep you updated. Another one that I, like, absolutely despise, and everyone, especially my managers, like, not just my managers, but I know, like, other people that have been managing before for food, and they absolutely hate when people do this, is you eat, like, half of your food, and then you tell your server, why'd you eat half of it then? Which leads me to, like, another one that isn't on my list originally, but, like, sometimes I feel like there are certain people that, like, just always are going in and trying to get free food. Like, they will find, like, anything wrong to make it a problem. And if that's you, you need to stop. Like, you are, like, all of these people put into one. The first time, which kind of, like, spawned this idea for this video, the very first time that I got stiffed, I got, like, no tip. I had this table, and they were, like, doing fine. Like, I checked in on them, I would ask them how they're going, like, if they needed refills, and I got what they needed. I asked them about their food, they said everything was good, and then, like, at the very end, they, like, left me no tip. So I don't know if they were one of those people that originally just go in thinking, you know, I'm not gonna tip. That could totally have been it. Or if there was a problem, and, like, that's the person I'm, like, referring to for this, like, point, is if there is a problem, you need to, like, say it. The person that has some sort of problem, it can be any of the problems that I listed below, but then they start, like, personally attacking the server, calling them, you know, oh, you're fat, oh, you're racist, oh, like, you're a server because you're obviously, like, dumb. Things like that, like, personal attacks that really have little or nothing to do with what the situation is at hand. So I'm just saying, like, don't be that person. I get that you might have had a bad day and you just want to, like, sit down and eat with your friends or your family, but taking out all of your, like, anger and frustration is, like, on your, like, server or, like, the manager is not cool and not the thing to do. Treat your servers nice. They work hard. I get that sometimes your food is not perfect. Not every experience when you're out is gonna be, like, amazing. And sometimes, like, it is, like, the server's fault. They do screw up. We're not perfect. But I'm also saying, like, a lot of times it's not the server's fault. We have, like, a lot of other things going on in the back. We're helping each other out with our other tables, taking out food. I've got other stuff I need to do, like take out the trash and, like, do, like, random side things like that. So while it'd be nice if, like, you were my only table that I was focused on and, like, that was the only thing I had to do, one, I'd be bored out of my mind for about half an hour while you guys are just eating, and two, like, I would make no money, and three, that's just not how it works. So just understand that I do have other things going on, and not everything, like, in your dining experience is, like, solely my fault. I can fix it if there's a problem. I can try really hard to fix it. Tip your server. That's all I'm saying. Don't take it out that way. That was my PSA on why you should tip your server. I was just kind of doing it because I wanted to educate those who haven't served, because a lot of times I didn't realize any of these things until I was a server. But hopefully now you know. Let me know in the comments if you've A, dealt with people like this because you are a server, or B, if you felt like you were one of these people, if you want to admit it. But maybe now you've changed your ways because you understand. Yeah, yeah, let me know. And if you have any like likes, questions, comments, let me know. If you want me to do a special kind of video, send me a message or a comment with it below. Yeah. Have a good day, guys. See you sometime soon. Bye.